What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Opinions from Offside. How you doing, Kanye? All good, mate?
All good, mate. All good. Another day, another podcast.
Another day, another podcast. Not another dollar yet. We're not making any money. We've got to get our subscribers up, haven't we? Eh?
Oh, you forgot to do the names. Can you have another subscriber? What's going on?
Oh, that would have done. There we go. You've bailed me out there. Can you subscribe and like the video? That's what we're doing today, I think. Kanye subscribe. Right, listen, Kanye subscribe. We've got a couple of topics now, which is really what we really wanted to do, and that was feedback from the people that watch. We're interested in getting to know people's points of view, and I believe you've been reading some of the comments and some of the questions on, was it Facebook, the Facebook group?
It was the Facebook one, yeah. So when we were talking about moving, what rule would you change in football? You said about moving the offside line to a bit closer to the 18-yard line. So we've had Chris Flash. All right, Chris. He's basically saying, I don't agree with the 18-yard line, as you could get what was used to be called goal hangers. Big Gary Lineker made a career out of it.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, absolutely.
But he does agree you should be at least a yard offside and not hold his nose or his toes offside. In addition to that, we've also got one from Dan Ball. Congratulations on about to become a dad.
Really?
He says offsides. Dan. Yeah. His missus is pregnant. Yeah, fair play to you.
Dan, we didn't know you had the straw. We didn't know you had the strawberries, mate. We knew you had the cream.
Hey. It's the cream that does the damage.
Congratulations, both of you.
He says, offsides, I'd like to see the striker onside unless the whole of his body is past the last defender, if that makes sense. So basically what I think he's saying is the reverse of offside. So if your foot is in line with the defenders, but your whole body is leaning forward, you technically class as onside.
Yeah.
So he's thinking the other way around.
Yeah, that's what I was saying in one of the others. If you're slightly overlapping, you're on. If there's clear daylight between defender and attacker, you know what I mean? That's what you'd need the daylight as like a clarification. Because at the moment, it's all like, draw a line, is his toenail on? You know what I mean? And it's just making it complicated, like really, really complicated. So what should we dissect
you're
first?
A striker. You're a striker. What do you think? Like, as a forward's point of view, what would you think? Do you think the striker have the advantage? Or do you think, no, my movement should be clever enough to hold that line?
Both, but you just change where the line is, right? So, and the game's a lot faster now. So listen, we're both going to have, this is interesting, we're both going to have contrary opinions because you're a defender and I was a forward. So taking out I'll tell you what I think first, then I'll come back to the crux of it. I think that I think you should give the benefit of the doubt should always go to the attacker. And that's how it used to be. But then obviously you're going to say, but if I've held my line right, then that's unfair to you. But taking our own personal biases about the positions we played, for clarity in the game, you need a more black and white definition of the rule.
Can you be more black and white that if a part of your body that you can score with is closer to the goal than the defender, you're offside? That's very black and white to me.
Has that worked? Because it's subjective by people sitting in Stockley Park.
Well, with the new semi-automatic offside, that should stop that.
It should do, but I don't know if that's proven enough. But also, another factor has been where they're drawing the lines on the screen. Because if you're talking about the semi-automated offside, then I'm with you. That's using technology to do it. The way if is it over the goal line technology works, the way ball card works in tennis, the way the LBW cam works in cricket. I'm all for that. My problem is, while it's still in the hands of humans and human error, either leave it to human error and let the referee call it how he sees it the way he used to, or implement technology properly.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I would look at it as amateur football. You have a linesman, like it's human error. Like that's fine. I can understand that. If it's human error, it's human error. So sometimes you have to adapt. But when we have the Premier League, which is the richest, maybe second richest league now after Saudi League, but the richest league in the world with the most views, why we left it to the people in Stockley Park to do this? Why has this not been implemented? Because semi-automated offside was here last year. It was here the year before. Why has this not been done? Like the Euros, how they did that, it popped up on the screen. They had the mark, the furthest part back of the defender, and then the line was put across from the defender, and then the wall was put across. You could see if the player's offside. If it's his hand, you can't score with your hand onside. Get that. But while we've got it, so especially with the professionals and how well drilled, hang on, it shouldn't be this. Yeah, but his knee. Yeah, but he's that. It's go by the defender. Is he offside? Can you score with that body part? Yes, there you go. Job done. That's my opinion from it. Let
me play devil's avocado for the sake of content, as we do, right? Because if I just go, yeah, I agree, and that's that subject done. Okay, so now let me pick you up on the rule and the phrase you used there 2 or 3 times in explanation. Can you score with that body part? Okay. So what is the current rule for handball? Because it used to be shoulder and below, or then it was the shirt sleeve.
The shirt sleeve, wasn't it? Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now, if someone's wearing a long sleeve shirt, the ball comes over and they go to chest it, and it hits on the borderline of where's legal and goes in. Now, not only are you drawing lines on the pitch to see if they've been circumcised or not, right? You're actually drawing lines on their clothing to see if it's on the border of what's legal and what's not. So surely, make it clearer. There's daylight between them. It's onside. You know what I mean? It's offside.
With the line, running across the line, I think most people, I would look at it as, if you're going to score with your shoulder, it's going to be basically middle of the bicep. That's how I would look at it, middle of the bicep and up.
But everybody's anatomy is different, because Salah's arms are like shorter and he's more bulkier and he has like more of a bicep. And then someone like Thomas Souček, or a lanky sort of player, has like a more elongated shape where you don't have definition. So then it's difficult to spot especially on the go quickly. It's difficult to spot exactly what part of that anatomy it's hit. So then we're getting into that, like, you know, was it like a centimetre too high, and now in the like illegal body part realm? With
the offside part, I think the offside is slightly different to the handball part of it. So with the handball part of it, I think it's got ridiculous. To me, the minute they changed the saying from deliberate was crazy. Or has he? I can understand if I've stood there, arms out wide, I'm deliberately making myself bigger. I get that. I understand that. But like as a Liverpool
fan, put your arms behind your back when you're trying.
How is that fair? Jockey. Come on. You don't run like that. That's not fair as a defender. But they don't want to take the risk. I don't understand that. If your hand is in a natural position now, some of the ones you see where you go to block and your hand will naturally go above your head because it's balanced. To me, that's a natural position.
Yeah, I was going to say the other way. I saw 2 instances in 2 different games within 2 hours on a Sunday afternoon last season in the Prem, where someone had a shot and the player went down, and to support himself, he's posted up with his hand, but the ball hit his hand. And then again, one of them was given as a penalty. One was given as he can't help it. Of course, he's catching himself full. Where's the consistency here? This is why I'm arguing for, because you said about it's 2 different rules, the offside rule and the body part. But the crux of your point was you could still overlap, and the benefit of the defender knowing he's got his line right. But still, the point was, is there a goal scoring body part onside or offside? So now we're talking about, if I'm leaning forward, if you're the defender and I'm arcing my run and I just go and let me try and get in the camera, just this part of me is past you. We're now not only arguing, am I past the line you're holding? We're also arguing that bit that's past the line is here, right? So is that a goal scoring body part or not? And it just makes it even murkier than an already complicated rule. Whereas if you've got clear daylight, it's much more cohesive, surely.
But so look at it from I understand that, and yes, you want goals, but it's so hard as a defensive unit to all be in line. So you've got 4, 3, or 5 of you to be in line versus one player attacking. For the sake of that, bearing in mind, so if the forward stood there and he's lent to make the run, and it's his shoulder that's offside, that's, to me, something like that, if you want to chop the arm off, that's fine. no problem. Chop the arm off. If you have the ability to get to that sort of point, well,
just put the flag up.
Well, put his arm up. Just chop it off and put it up. But I would look at it more as, yes, give the advantage to the striker, but not an unfair advantage. If I've held my line and it is clear that there's a part of your body that you can score with is offside, then you're offside.
Spoken like a defender, and I hear you, and I agree to a degree. But speaking as a forward, it's just as difficult. And you're saying there's four, and you've got to be in line. It's just as difficult to watch a back four and watch the position of all four of them, because you might be perfect, and so are two of your teammates. But I've got to watch if the left back is slightly behind, and then judge my run off of him. So I'm judging my run off of four of you. Not only that, I'm doing it at speed. Not only that, am I arcing or angling my run. Not only that, am I timing when the ball leaves his foot who's passing to me. So it's just as complicated in terms of a striker. So surely you have to bring it back again to clarity of the rule, and for the purpose of entertainment, what you want is more goals in football, so it's more entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I'd happily, if they changed it to take off the toe and things like that, like these minuscule points, like I can understand that. Or even, I tell you what if they went by torso? Your torso is where your line is, all right? Is your body onside? But then on the flip side of it, you have to use the defender's torso.
It's a great idea, but then it's every time you change the margins, then right? What if you wear a baggy shirt? What if you've got a skin tight shirt tucked in? Like, it's going to change where the line goes. Eventually, you're going to get your jerseys offside. If you were wearing a baggy, untucked jersey and the line's there, and the same person with like AI or whatever, or Photoshop, you could change that to they're wearing a skin tight one, and then there's a fraction, they're not off the line. You've got to surely have a more clearly defined, like, you can't argue with that. There's space in between them.
But if they did that, what would we talk about?
Well, that's true. We have got another quick thing on this subject. The lovely Samantha Morelli suggested we should get rid of VAR altogether. It's spoiling the game. And I replied in the comment, I kind of agree with what she's saying, because what it's done, she said it's taken the fun out of the game. And I agree, because we're finding ourselves now, you score a goal. Football is about that emotion, that passion. You're out your seat, you know what I mean? Now you're reluctant to celebrate. Forwards, before they celebrate, look over at the linesman. You know what I mean? We're all in our seats going, is it a goal? Is it a goal? Sometimes you're waiting 5 minutes. And then by the time it's given or not, it's like it's gone. It's,
the moment's gone. Yeah.
So is there an argument for getting rid of it entirely? Or does the technology just need fine-tuning?
I'd probably say it needs fine-tuning, because there's certain things now which I think, yes, like little things that we used to like do as old footballers, the little things like the little bits off the ball, the 2-footers, like the red cards and stuff like that. That stuff, brilliant. In regards to the goals, it does take it away a little bit, and I think it does. But this little things about with the like going back and checking on fouls, like I think it was the African nations. There was a foul inside the box, ball broke. I think it was Cameroon or Nigeria went up the other end, scored a goal, was celebrating, and then suddenly, hold on a minute, 67 seconds ago, brought it back for a penalty for the other team. Like,
so you think you scored, now all of a sudden you're facing a penalty.
Yeah. So I think the referees need to take charge of certain situations. If you think that is a foul and you're confident in it, give it the foul. And this stuff where they send them to I think we covered this part, they send them to the monitor to change their mind. Why not have let's listen to the conversation.
I would love more refs to have the balls to go, no, that's how I've seen it. I'm sticking to my guns. And some do, mainly countries not here. But let me play devil's avocado again for the sake of conversation. See what you said there about that game where they scored and then the play was brought back and then it was actually a penalty to the other side. Doesn't that add to the entertainment? Isn't that high drama? Isn't your heart in your
mouth? Absolutely. It depends which team you're supporting. Yeah. Would you want that to West Ham? You've got this guy, your first game of the season, you got the other end. West Ham have just scored a great, well-built goal. Oh, actually, the ball clipped the defender's arm back here, so it's a penalty. It might be drama, but why can't the referee make that decision straight away?
the referee should make the decision. They should have more of a backbone as well. And I understand they've got a difficult job. And I understand it's a really fast pace. Let's jump on to another quick thing. We had some brilliant feedback from a chap, Ed. Is it Ed?
Yeah.
I forget his surname.
Ed Bedford,
Ed Bedford, mate. Top shout, Ed. And he sent a picture in. So in one of the other episodes, I recently said about I would maybe make a change to the offside rule where you put a line just outside the 18-yard box. And you could only be offside if you crossed that line. It's sort of 18-yard box or 20 yards or whatever towards a goal. Yeah. And we were worried that maybe it would make people defensive. Well, Ed sent me this picture. His son used to play, I think he might still do, at the under-12s Valencia Academy. And this is something they're doing already. They're bringing it into the under-12s. So obviously someone's been listening to our podcast, decided that I should be technical director. And,
are we taking credit for that? Yeah.
Yes, to all me. So as you can see, that's probably what would you say, 25 yards?
23, 24, yeah, something like that,
yeah. So actually, it doesn't make people more defensive. He says that what they're seeing now is you're getting more space in midfield. They're knocking the ball about a little bit better in midfield. You're getting more long shots and you're getting more goals in a game. He didn't really go into whether teams sit a little bit deeper, but it's just giving the youngsters more room to play more technically, a little bit like I would imagine the way Southgate and others implemented in the youth game, a smaller ball and less players a team to hone your technique. That's a great shout from Ed. What do you think about that?
I like the idea of it because imagine if that's where the line is. Suddenly, as soon as you lose the ball, the player's going to drop. But then now you've got that option with the midfielder. So I play centre midfield now, and I think when the defence is so deep, it makes the pitch so big for you to cover. So, but obviously we both have the same method we spoke about yesterday. The ball moves faster without you, so you can then hopefully pull them about a little bit, pull players out of position. Let the ball do the work. That's what you do. So it'd be nice to try and play in a game like that. If it'd be doable, how would you manage it? Would you instantly drop, or would you try and stay high to condense the space and be confident in your pace?
That is it, isn't it? That is exactly it. You have the opportunity to push your line up, right? And then you like you say, you condense the space, but you're also controlling territory and you're attacking more. Surely. Again, it depends on are your defenders quick enough if it gets in behind? Are the team you're playing adept enough to stick the ball over the top and get in behind? It depends on the personnel. But surely, you'd rather watch your team controlling possession of the ball in the opposition half.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You know what I mean? That would surely encourage that, I would have thought. So
I can see that, yeah. And I think what you've got as well, but then the only flip side to this, playing devil's avocado, as you say, would be, would this work with adults? Because Ed was saying about this is what they're doing under 12. So imagine, I'm guessing the under 12s might not have the power to be able to clear those lines. So if I've got the ball at my 18-yard line, I would expect myself to be able to clip it hard enough behind to bounce past their 18-yard line. So if that's the case, then my player can stand offside. Do you know what I mean? So then do you have to drop, which then again would create more space in the middle to maybe work your way forward. So the teams that are brave, it's one of those where I think risk and reward. Do you want to risk, right, I've got fast fullbacks and a sweeper keeper to mop this up so we can stay high, condense the space, play through us or go long. It has to be a perfect pass, which, as we've seen yesterday with Mavropanos, certain players you want to try those passes, certain players you don't. I wouldn't want Cresswell doing that pass, but Mavropanos, you crack on. It's a difficult pass.
If Cresswell had been playing that way since 11 years old, by the time he's 25, it might breed more technical players.
Yeah, true.
And I think that's the point.
Yeah, I like the idea because then I suppose the thing is what you want is more time on the ball.
Yeah, and that's what you're getting, but in midfield and in defence. Moving on from
it'd be nice to think.
Well, we can talk about it a bit more another day. Before we go, have you got an unpopular opinion to throw at us?
I've got a couple of ones flowing out there, but contenders. I'm going to go with Yeah, there's a couple we spoke about earlier. One of the ones that I've seen someone put up, I don't agree with it, but we're going to go with it. Their unpopular opinion is that Virgil van Dijk is not in the top 10 of all Premier League defenders. I would not agree with that.
Right, but me neither. But which side are you going to take? You're going to defend him, or you're going to make an argument for the other side?
Right, just because I'm a Liverpool fan, I will go the other side. I will go against him, just to show everyone I'm not biased.
Right, okay, all right. So I would say then defending Van Dijk, and I was expecting you to go the other way, so I've got to have a little think about this now. It's good.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go on then. You go first, and I'll count up.
So why I would say he's not top 10 defender is because he was good at Southampton, but wasn't spectacular. He was good. Teams were interested in him. I would say you've got Ruben Diaz for how he showed up the City defence. You've got Terry Carvalho for what they did at Chelsea with theirs. You've got Ferdinand. You've got Vidic for what they were doing. Then you've got Pallister. You've got Bruce for what they were doing. Then you've got Tony Adams.
Pallister and Bruce were a unit, though. Individually, you're not telling me they're as good as Van Dijk.
Well, how do you judge it? Do you judge it on your opinions? Do you judge it on stats? Do you judge it on trophies? Where would you go?
Well,
or do you judge it by era? Bearing in mind, their era was different.
Yeah, skills and attributes. I think you're hard pushed. I think, look, with anything, right? We've got the Olympics on at the moment. 100 meters. 20 years ago, the standard was very different athletically to what it is now. You're breaking records. Like, it happens all the time in UFC. Like, your average mixed martial artist, professional mixed martial artist, like UFC standard fighter now would probably make light work of a lot of people that we looked up to 20 years ago, just because time moves on, skills moves on, science moves on. So I don't think you can, and I don't think half the people you've mentioned from eras ago, more than a decade, could live up to the standard and the attributes and the player that Van Dijk is now in this standard, in this era.
But flip it round. Could he have dealt with the players that they had to play against back then? Because some of them, if you look at we said we're going to speak about the crazy gang. Could you imagine him going up against Fashion You with the elbows? Would you want one of them?
Well, what era are we playing in? Because he can handle a physical battle, but if the crazy gang played a game against Liverpool tonight, he'd get them all sent off, wouldn't he?
But what if they played in their era, where those tackles would have been yellows?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I think that's hard. I think that's hard to make an argument for anybody to be suited to that. That's an interesting one. Let's just deviate off that for a second. Who in the modern game do you think would have thrived in 80s and 90s? Because there's not many that physical players anymore, is there?
Casemiro.
You think so?
Game was slower, and he knows how to get away with those sneaky little things. I think Casemiro, he's got that little nous about him. Maybe, I'll tell you who else, maybe just past his era, Gattuso,
yeah. How would you have got on with a Vinnie Jones 50-50 in the first minute?
I think that would have been a battle. That would have been
would have been a battle.
That's cinematic. That is.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, it's hard for me to make an argument against Virgil van Dijk. The only one, flipping over to your argument, what I was thinking when you first said it was, if it is subjective on what the criteria is. If you're counting trophies and success, he's not had that many Champions League trophies, has he? But then could you name 10?
One Champions League.
One. Yeah. And what? One league?
One Champions League, one league, couple in Scotland, couple of an FA Cup, a League Cup.
Well, then David May's got a better CV than him, hasn't he?
Yeah. That's something like we could definitely talk about again. How do you judge a player? Is it on their ability? Is it on their achievements? Is it on the team they played in? Or
how do you judge it? Who was around them? Yeah.
That's always goes to my argument why I think Gerrard, when they talk about Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes, my always argument back to that is the reason why Gerrard is better is because Gerrard would have been able to be Gerrard in any of those teams. I don't think Scholes or Lampard would have been Scholes and Lampard in that poor Liverpool team. Like, come on, if you're relying on David and Gog to lay you in on goal, I'm worried. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on, I'm worried. Like, so that's how do you judge it? So that's definitely one that'd be so good for someone else to put in. But how would you judge it? Like, you leave your comments. How would you judge? Is it on your stats? Is it on your trophy haul? Is it on the team you played in, your success? Like, how do you judge it? Or is it on individual ability?
Outstanding performances, consistency is another one.
Yeah.
There's been some great defenders that have been really great, but they've also made some really famous ricks and mistakes. You know what I mean? And that knocks your stock. Right, I'm mindful of the time now. That's another fantastic conversation. Like we said last time out, we're going to try and make this a little bit shorter to not bore you. Also, let us know if you're up for that, or if you prefer the longer form conversations. We're also going to be releasing a podcast, which will be audio only, and I think they'll be all right to be 40, 50, 60 minutes. But look, today's show was made mainly around your getting back to us, your feedback, your opinions, and we're going to keep doing that. We're loving all that. Feel free to leave us some questions as well as your opinions. Because that's what it's all about. We're going to try and really make this about the community and about the viewers. We're also going to be bringing quite a few people on as well. Now we've got a few under our belt. We've got a few guests lined up, just ordinary people like yourselves that watch this. We might even have some special guests, some sort of celebrities and ex-footballers down the line. I'm trying to sort that out, so that'll be good. But we want to get you on. And if you have got a counter opinion to either me or Kanye, come on and argue with us. Come on and give your point.
Why not?
So, yeah, really, really good. Another great one. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. And until next time, subscribe, like the video, comment. Just a quick thing. We need you interacting on YouTube, because the more you like and subscribe and comment, the more it tells YouTube that people are engaging, the more it sends traffic to our page and makes us known to other people. So keep getting involved. Thank you so much. Until next time on
Opinions from Offside.
Opinions from Offside. We'll see you soon, folks.
Cheers, guys.